Greetings everyone, welcome to another TED Talks podcast video and on my Serviced Accommodation special series. I'm here with who?
Adam Rana.
Now today I'm going to play the role of the general public. I am going to be asking Adam some questions that I think a lot of you probably have. A lot of people who are new to SA definitely ask us and ask you because there's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of assumptions and maybe a lot of fear in people who are thinking about doing service accommodation, rent to SA, or any sort of property investment. So, I'm going to hit you with some frequently asked questions, and you can. I'm going to be, devil's advocate, give you some objections, and you'll answer them. First question is, everyone's doing SA, Adam. How am I supposed to be better than all of them? They're all around me.
Right. So, it's a cheesy word, but be different. It's simple as that. So, what I mean by being different is pick your consumer market. So before you even get your SA, work out if you want to go for contractors, if you want to go for tourism, if you want to go for the bankers or these people who work in the financial services, who work as contractors as well. So not just the builder contractors, the one that's working in the financial services and the banking. So pick that, work out what your consumer market is, and then work backwards. So work out your USP. So what's your USP? Customer service. You're going to give different customer service to, for example, if you're doing SA next door to me, what can I do different from you? There's fast food chains next to each other and a chip shop next to each other. What they offer something different. So you offer a different product in the same industry. I think you will win. I'm an example of that, and I'm happy to show people around what I did different to people who were doing SA in Birmingham for 3 years.
Fine. So have a USP, like any business, just differentiate yourself.
Just differentiate yourself.
Fine. I don't have that much money. I only have about 500 quid to spend on this whole SA malarkey. What do I do, Adam?
That money is actually not the problem. It's getting the deals that's the problem. So I started with £3,000, and that was actually some of it saved up, some of it from my mom actually. So I saved up some money, lent some money. So anyone can do that. You can lend all of that money, and you can use that to get a rent-to-rent, for example. So what does rent-to-rent mean? Rent-to-rent is you using someone else's asset, renting off them, giving them possibly a guaranteed rent, and making profit of the difference of your revenue over the rent. So you don't need to buy a property. You can just rent it. Obviously, do it legally. Get the right contracts in, and get the right permissions in from the lenders, from the landlords, and from the leaseholders. Right, if it's an apartment. So do that, and you don't need much money because you can use other people's apartments and houses as renting.
So I guess sort of an answer to that, what you're saying is, use investor money, whether it's family, friends, whatever. Keep saving. Some people use credit cards, up to them. But there are ways around it because the investment is so small. You don't need 25% of the house to get involved like a normal buy-to-let. Okay, so I'm trying to get SA deals. I'm calling agents and they keep saying we don't do corporate lets, we don't deal with this, we know you're going to stick it on AirBNB. What do I do?
So I think this is a very common question in today's time. Answering the sticking on Airbnb, go find your clients. Again, going back to the consumer, go find your contractors before you go to the estate agent. So we leaflet around where contractors are in Birmingham, where the construction happening. Find them, show them the demand. So okay, I have 20. So I have 4 people. I have 4 construction project managers who want to stay in Birmingham from Liverpool, and they want to come stay in Birmingham for 6 months, Monday to Friday. Here is the email. Get an email confirmation, and take that to the estate agent when you have a challenge saying it's going to go on Airbnb, right? It's still, you're gonna make sure it's a corporate let. Going on Airbnb is not bad, It's still, as long as you got your processes and you're vetting around, it's still a corporate let because you in your corporate let should say guests. It's not your employees, so you gotta amend that estate agent contract. But to answer your question, go find the customers first, get confirmation, which is just an email saying we want to stay in Birmingham and what you're offering, and they want to stay in your places, and show that to the estate agent.
That's an interesting way of...
Worked for me. Yeah. Worked for me. I showed emails and text messages I've shown. And I said, okay, so you're not one of those other people that are just coming around wanting a property.
That's a really good point. I didn't think about that aspect. It gives them proof, because they know there's demand. It doesn't give them proof of that. It gives them proof that you have the demand.
Yeah, and builds trust as well.
And I read, that is a top tip. Okay, so I have a bad review from a guest over nothing. They're just being really rude. What do I do?
That's happened to us maybe a few times this year, 1 or 2 times, and it's really frustrating. So number one, for people who are starting out, don't take it emotionally. This is so important, because if you have really put your heart into service accommodation or any business, you're gonna be like, you've just gone and
it's your baby.
It's your baby, and you just said every other 10 people have said it's amazing, and then number 11 person just turned around, now mate, we don't like it. Don't take out to half. That's first thing, because that's gonna allow you to answer this very in a smarter way. So secondly, respond to it. So all Airbnbs, even Google or all of these, Booking.com allows you to respond to a review. Respond to it in a professional, concise, and in a factual way. So look at the review. If they're saying something is constructive, take it as constructive and say, yes, we have made those changes. Thank you for your feedback. We have made those changes. So the next guest, if you're looking at that property, you're gonna say, okay, so the TV wasn't working, but this guy's bought a new TV, and it's working now, so I'm still gonna book it, right? Or if there's a leak or something. So look at the facts, respond to it with facts, and don't take it too hard, because there will be some guests who will just not tell the truth, but just say thank you for the feedback, and we have made the changes where it's necessary.
Fine. I've been trying for weeks now to get a rent to SA, but I just keep getting rejected. What should I do? Is it too early to give up?
I got rejected for the first 3 months in a row. And that's facts. That is facts. I got rejected, and you won't believe it, sounds cliche. It was actually a call. I literally was going through Gumtree, saw a property, and I was like, oh, this is not going to work, but let's just try it, right? And that was a property that got me started.
That's how it happens sometimes.
So
isn't it?
you gotta view 50 properties, 60 properties, 70 properties. You gotta keep going, because one person will like your idea, because it works. Because I'm doing it. I'm not special. You got your first one, right? I'm not special. He's not special. You can do it as well. So I say keep trying, and it will work. Maybe I think I would add a point to it. If it's not working for such a long time, and this is an honest point, maybe get some advice from someone who's doing it. You know, maybe you're doing something really simple wrong. And you know, that simple thing can just change everything.
I want to get into SA, but I'm scared that I'm going to have some yobbos in and they're going to trash my place, ruin my IKEA plants. So I'm a bit scared. And tell me.
Again, a fair question, and it's one of the risks that we have to manage. So risk manage. How would you risk manage, right? In your SAs, even whether you have 1 or 50 or 22, like I do, right? Processes and systems. So there's a lot of processes I can touch on in systems, but the main one is vetting your customers. So what I mean by security checks, basically. So you know, we send out a link where it's a self check-in. If it's a self check-in, we send out a link and says, show us your ID, show us our government ID, like a driving license or a passport, preferably a driving license, because it shows the current address, right? That's one. Secondly, you gotta write terms and conditions. Work with someone who's in SA to get your terms and conditions written correctly. Terms and conditions will say, you know, what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. What that does is, a lot of people would read that and understand, look, for example, no parties are allowed, right?
Yep.
That's what people are worried about. People will read that as sensible, and genuine person will read that, okay, I can't just use this place for a party because I've just signed into a contract, because it's a legally binding contract. And thirdly, take deposits where necessary, right? So we screen people and we look at people and think, okay, you know, we think he might be in high risk or he might be a low risk, you know, and we try to keep deposits quite, because it's a time incentive for us. But take deposit when you're starting out, take 100% deposits, right? We have a lot of processes in, because we're at advanced level, but when you're a beginner level, take deposits all the time. It's a psychological thing, because a lot of people, it's only £100, and they'll be like, still, I've given money, right? So they won't break stuff.
Okay. When it comes to service accommodation, it's not working. I've had an apartment for 4 months and we're just not making profit. Is it the season? Is it me? Do I need to give it back? Well, what could it be?
So in that question, there's 2 points. So firstly, I wouldn't blame that if you've done your due diligence right. Assuming you've done your due diligence, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah. So we don't blame, because that could be you're not marketing enough. So marketing is important. So Airbnb and Booking.com is not enough, right? This is where I talked about direct bookings. Go direct marketing, Facebook ads, your Instagram ads. Get a social media marketer. Like we pay someone. We got a VA in India. We pay someone not much money, but he takes care of all my social media in terms of the business, and he generates leads, because I have a website. So get him to lead into our website. So do direct marketing, do flyers, go into car parks or travel lodge, you know, and look at builders' vans and, you know, who's there, and just put leaflets there. Literally put a leaflet on a top of a windscreen, and that would increase your marketing, and that would get more bookings. That's one point. Second point, it could be like, you know, it just doesn't work, so due diligence wasn't done right, and that's honest. You could have made a mistake. We gave 4 essays back as rent to rent we had, and I get 4 back, right? Then you have to have break clauses. So this is getting into contracts and stuff. So make sure your contracts are good when you're doing your contracts. So you have break clauses where, when after doing all of your marketing, all of your direct booking, reach, you're still not getting booking, then it's time to give your essay back. And this is something a lot of beginners need to know. Have break clauses. If it doesn't work, give it back with a month's notice.
Fine, I like it. Well,
Yeah.
look, I hope this has been useful. I think we covered some common questions that I know I've asked,
Very common.
you know, before, and I've probably asked you before as well. So if you found this useful, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll put our Instagram tags in the video below.
Thank you very much, guys.